I found it interesting that it's a little bigger.
The cubits, I think, it changed periodically, slightly.
I think there are like two different versions. One approximately 18 inches, one 19 inches, or maybe even 21 inches. I think I've seen that from the guy who wrote some books on the tabernacle, Joseph Good.
Good.
Yeah.
But the thing I find different was not so much it was bigger, but the stone was hewn on site, or off the site at the quarry, and then brought on. So there was no cutting tools whatsoever for stone or anything like that there.
That's the on site the Temple Mount. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or the tabernacle. Or the Temple Mount for that one, yeah.
Yeah, I just found that interesting. And then how they made the altar. Covered it with metal so it wouldn't burn on the wood. Put the wood on it and burn it. Got an ash pan. So
Bronze griddle or something like that.
yeah.
Covering. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we get started with our Midrash, we need to acknowledge that we have eaten. The text says, so you'll eat and be satisfied, and you'll bless Adonai your God for good land he has given you. So let's do that. We have eaten and we're satisfied. We thank you for the land. It's in Yeshua's name.
Amen. And I'm resting in a really comfy chair.
Makes good company.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. He put his chair here for me. I knew that. You can go wheels. That's what I think.
See, that's why we don't have lounge chairs maybe, because otherwise.
That's what I said to Wayne today, look, we need recliners.
Oh, you don't want to put a recliner in here for me, huh? I'm liable to go sleep on
Yeah,
it.
that's what he was worried about. Yeah, we're on sleep. So,
Oh, it wouldn't be from talking, it'd just be from.
hey, this is the day of rest.
Get some
Oh,
additional Shabbat in there. This was our Aliyot schedule, and this is the first verses we read. So the question, according to the traditional counting, vote are in this Torah portion. Is it 5, 2, 3, or is it 7?
Well, so I guess they're not counting as mitzvot the commanded measurements of things.
The mitzvah is build the tabernacle. That's the mitzvah of that. Otherwise, you're right, it would be about 703
Mm-hmm.
in this portion alone.
Yeah.
I'm looking at B or D myself. But if you take B from D, you get A. Or if you take B from A, you get C. Now I'm confused.
As we all are now. Okay, so A, B, C, or D. Your first guess
I figure's too much.
is not enough.
Yep.
And
Well, D was my first guess.
you said B was your first guess,
Yeah,
yeah.
I said D, but if you take, it's either between B or D. D was my first guess, because if you took B from D, you get A. But if you took
Wait a minute, let's
B
not hear this
from A, you
again.
get C.
Anyways,
D's out.
more coffee.
Bingo.
Okay, so A is also out.
Yep.
Leaving us with
Probably C.
C is correct. Good job. Here are the three mitzvot. Build the tabernacle, Don't remove the staves of the ark from their rings, which of course was
Can you explain that one?
the staves of the ark.
Don't take the staves out of the rings of the ark.
Put it in English.
Poles.
Do
Don't take the
not
poles out.
take-
The poles.
Okay, got it. I'm a pole. Pull up.
And the Torah of the table of showbread. Now, there's interesting thing. If we think about the bread of before the face, as it's literally before the face is really. It is truly bread. It's lechem, and so it's not matzah. You think that it might be matzah because of leaven, but
So it's got leaven
it's got leaven in it. Yeah.
I never would have thought it was
in
matzah.
that would be in the holies, not holy holies. But
Right.
So there's leaven in the holies.
I never would have thought it was matzah. I never read it to be matzah.
No, but we typically think of leaven's relationship with sin, and you don't want
True.
to have that in there. That would be the
But no, it's showbread. See, David ate some of that bread, so if it was just crackers, I don't think he was going to get it very much. 12 crackers, man, that ain't enough.
Well, if he was hungry, that would be good enough.
For one guy, goodness gracious, unless it was big crackers.
there are 12 loaves. So
See, loaves.
Whatever loaf is, whatever they mean by loaf.
well, yeah. So in a box of matzah, I think they count each slice, if you will, as a loaf. I want to say that's the case.
What is
I may be
what is
wrong.
the Hebrew word there for the the showbread for the loaves? Does it say what's Hebrew for loaves in that? Maybe that'll give it
25,
to
23.
I'm glad you brought that up, Jim.
you. Why to take the heat off you?
No, I don't think anybody can take the heat off me.
Learn to live with it.
I have.
Use it as a badge of honor.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm not getting myself in trouble.
Then nobody would expect very much out of you, so you wouldn't have to do very much.
That doesn't work out so well for me. Wife cracks the whip, wife just get moving.
You do?
Have to.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you buy her the whip?
No. I want to eat. I don't work, I don't eat. Ain't that the way it says? I can't cook.
Are you talking about the lechem panim?
I am. I'm not sure the word, if there's a word for loaf in this.
Where it says loaves in the English.
Where does it?
Lechem
Where,
panim is the bread of the presence. Panim is face,
Mhm.
and it's translated into English as the bread of the presence. And we talk about Yeshua taking the bread and breaking bread. That's what it's talking about, coming into the presence of the Lord.
And that was matzah he was breaking.
Wasn't matzah.
Are you sure? Which one was he breaking then?
Um,
If it's the bread of presence, you talking about at the Pesach?
No, I'm talking about bread of the presence is the regular bread. In the temple,
Yeah, but
in
when
the
did he say that?
tabernacle, and then when you get over where Jesus was breaking the bread,
At the meal.
At the meal.
yeah,
Which one?
enemy.
Well, when he was doing it at the Pesach, that he wouldn't have used regular bread. That would have been matzah. But at the when he was feeding the 5,000, that was regular bread.
Yeah.
Did yours say loaves?
No, I don't. I don't know that. It just.
It's not.
I don't think loaves is in this. It's lechem panim.
I'm getting in and zip my Bible. See if I got
Well,
it.
don't worry. I'm looking for it just a second.
I've had my stomach filled and I'm lazy.
You sure you didn't write loaves in there?
I don't even know if I read it in my house, but I have heard it, loaves.
Well, this
I
is
just
a Torah on the table of showbread. The word for table is like shulchan. That's the like shulchan avuk.
But where it told him what to put on the table.
Well, it's in Vayikra 24:5. You shall take fine flour and bake 12 cakes or loaves with it.
What for cakes or loaves?
It's challah.
That's the Hebrew word, challah. You shall make 12 challah.
Well, it's chalot,
So plural.
plural challah.
Yeah, challah is bread.
So challah, it would not be unleavened bread.
No, I mean by the name of it, it's by lechem panim. It wouldn't be unleavened bread.
So
I assume that it's unleavened
she was
bread during Passover week. I don't know for unleavened bread. Week of unleavened bread, would it be leavened or not? Probably unleavened. I'm guessing.
for the week of unleavened bread. Yeah,
We
was-
made bread in Israel on the kibbutz. We had to do that at night or in the morning about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And you were just throwing a pile of dough and we had to roll it and braid it together,
Every morning?
every morning.
Wow.
And it went to the markets and places like that. That's what you call a loaf, but it's just
Hello?
leavened bread.
Mm-hmm.
Just piles of dough.
I mean, surely they've got round bread over there too.
The same thing Jimmy's saying.
That's
Well,
only
round bread for
recently.
Is it
Yeah, the brown bread is
not
just.
brown, round?
It's-
Yeah, that's what she's saying.
Okay.
and
for Rosh Hashanah, round bread is traditional.
because now you have bakeries to do all that. Used to, you didn't have in the 70s, 80s. You didn't have that.
Okay. You had to get up 3 and make it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
And you had to cook it for everybody else.
Wow, that's amazing.
The girls had.
Did your girls do that?
Are you kidding? They're lazy today.
Work.
Sabbath. Brown Star, he loves bread.
Well, the main thing is light the oven. What'd you light the oven with? With fire.
Yeah.
You didn't have. And they even had it outside, the bakeries outside, where people could take it from their homes and put it in the fire outside for the whole community was like.
Community ovens.
Awesome. No, Becca and Addie are going to get up early in the morning. Oh,
And then you had to go to work by 6 o'clock.
How early did you get off?
We got off about 1 o'clock
Okay.
because you was half dead by then.
probably too hot to work at that point. Time to go home and take a nap.
So a mitzvah that wasn't counted, that's from this portion, was in 27:20. You shall charge the sons of Israel that they bring you clear oil of beaten olives for the light to make your lamp continually.
Can I ask a question?
That'll be counted elsewhere. Yeah.
Here, you're saying it says beaten. I thought it was pressed. In mine, it said pressed.
Here we go. We're looking up another word.
It is pressed.
Why does it say beaten?
Gethsemane, you know what Gethsemane is? Got Shimon,
Well,
that is the olive press.
Yeah.
And they have these big stones.
But some say, he's saying, some say beaten.
Well, it says it right there.
Well, that's English.
Pressed is English.
Well,
Yeah, that's it.
you know, what's funny though is, what people call the Old Testament, that's actually translated from the Masoretic text. And only in spots did they change it wherever the Greek Septuagint was different.
Hey Wayne, what's the lowdown on it?
on what?
I thought you was looking at beaten and pressed up.
Yeah, hurry before he beats me. It's
Come
gonna
on,
stick
man,
over
you're our
your
source.
Well,
Deal.
the word is patit,
Uh-huh.
and the interlinear here has crushed.
Crushed.
So beaten is wrong.
No,
It's gotta be
You
wrong.
can crush something by beating it.
It says press. I've never seen somebody beat olives to get oil. Beating it to me means you're smacking it.
Popeye used to do that.
He's a sailor. They're always crazy. They don't know what they're doing.
Meanwhile, back at the Torah study.
meanwhile.
Oh, by that they learn man.
So terumah, of course, the root word within that is the word hum, to elevate. Resh, vav, final mem.
I would say something, but I'm not going to. Because he said rum and elevate, and I was going to equate that with something else.
I didn't say
Did you say
rum.
rum?
I didn't say rum.
R-U-M, rum.
You said rum. I said hum.
Same difference. Amount of coffee.
Potato, potato.
You guys just wait till I get all my stuff from Israel shipped in here. I've got about 150 books of everything you're talking about. Pictures,
Hey, that's what I mean.
photographs,
There you go.
where I've lived it.
Awesome.
Well, speaking of which, she showed me pictures of the menorah.
You gotta make some more coffee.
No, I'll finish that up.
Okay, here you go. You see that thing right there? That's the stone that is used to press.
No, I can't see it real close. Oh, wow, awesome.
This is,
I'm sure they string it with a clump or something.
see, here's. If I can pick it up.
You got double tap.
There it is. Okay, there's what is called the olive press.
Oh, wow.
And the stone you saw was what they rolled back and forth over that.
Awesome.
And this is the tomb of Yeshua, the garden of the tomb.
Well, they know one thing's for sure. They didn't find him in there.
See? And there's the press. And there's your,
Oh, yeah.
if it's not the exact place, this is possible, who knows? But
Oh,
it would have been a place like this, and this is
Yeah.
right under Golgotha.
making more.
It's a little bit more in there. Come, get over it. From the,
Yeah.
Go under there, you can see.
I'm being trying to be funny and serious. I'm being too serious.
Oh, here's Golgotha. Golgotha.
Man, this is really dark coffee. That's excellent.
Skull.
Oh, here, here.
And that was not a.
And stuff this in there.
Like this.
What's that? Ready?
I can write a
See?
story about it.
Well, you should.
Oh, bore you.
I think more grit and call it coffee, but I'm not sure.
Here it is. Before.
What more coffee is that
We're
for?
crucified
Maybe
this
sound over.
up here.
Yeah, the almond
as you go into
is
Jerusalem,
pretty-
because it's
not-
coming
not-
into Jerusalem.
it's more of a brownish color.
This road, and they could see, and it was like a warning
What
sign,
about it?
you know, you don't behave
It does taste like
yourself.
hazelnuts.
Like they used to hang people
You're
here in the
gonna-
old west, on Main
Yeah,
Street.
yeah.
Say one thing though. It's nice to have something.
What,
Coffee.
when have you not had coffee?
I didn't have any at home today. The girl brought hazelnut. No, that's just wrong.
So there's an entire tractate of the Mishnah, Terumah, that deals with the Terumah offering. As you notice, when we read, the Mishkan was done by contribution or
Yeah.
donation.
Yes,
It wasn't a tax. It was a voluntary offering,
yes.
which the idea, of a voluntary offering, they gave essentially from their heart, and that's what brought all those 15 items together.
That's awesome.
And certainly and we look at the 15 items, we'll talk about a little bit more of it. You know, even maybe you could perhaps buy goat hair with gold or silver, but
Huh?
you can't. It's not substitutional. You can't say, well, we're short goat hair. I'll just throw in 2 more shekels of gold. No, you can't. That's not really work that way. You have to have goat hair to make it work. So the contribution was to a point where everybody could contribute something. Yeah.
I'm glad you gave me my goats here.
So, question. What is a tachash in Shemot 25:5 and elsewhere? KJV reads badger. What does New Kings read for that? Is it badger or porpoise, dolphin,
Let me see.
sea cow?
Ow.
Where's it at?
25:5.
Mine says ram skins, badger.
Badger.
Skins.
Badger.
I don't see where they get dolphin out of it or sea cow because they're in the desert.
Well, they had to cross over Yam Suf.
What they do, just pluck one right out of the ocean?
I don't know if badger works for it either. I don't really know about Egyptian badgers.
25 left.
5.
Well, they didn't make it in Egypt. That was in Saudi there.
Well,
Indian.
Mine just says, I guess, fine leather. Ram skins dyed red and fine leather.
Sea cow, really?
so yeah, the fine leather is the option of Art Scroll, for example, doesn't translate. It just reads that as
Not for
takash.
sure, so they just call it leather.
No, they call it takash.
Takash.
They transliterate the
That's
word.
leather.
Fine leather is probably the English version of that. You can't be wrong.
We know some kind
A one-horned desert animal.
one horn, blind, purple people.
No, I've been a
dyed
unicorn.
with argamon.
Well, in the notes, in the New King James,
Uh-huh.
it says badger and it has a 1. Well, the 1 refers to the notes, and the note says dolphin. I don't know any land creature that's a dolphin.
Well, I mean, don't you think they would have been able, they took a lot of things out of Egypt. They just spoiled Egypt. A lot of things.
And that's why I think a lot of things they took with them, all the gold, silver, and things they found.
And isn't it possible that they could in the desert encounter bands of traders?
You know,
Trading
we just
goods?
can't take dolphin skin and just carry it around.
Well, you can if it's preserved.
Or a sea cow. You ever seen a sea cow?
I milked one once.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a brave man.
This book says that this type of animal only existed during that period of time.
Yeah, That, according to tradition,
I've
it's
heard
the
that.
kosher, multicolored, one-horned desert animal which came to existence to be used to build a tabernacle and cease to exist afterward.
That sounds
Shabbat
like, to me, like a
28.
way to settle it and not have to see what it really was.
Well, so it does stop a conversation perhaps if it doesn't exist anymore.
That conversation's up.
And that's why, obviously, is why there's, I mean, a badger is nothing like a dolphin, right?
That's right.
So there's
And what's a sea cow?
a manatee,
Maybe something like a manatee.
Barbara.
Is there a song after that?
Yeah, it's by,
Simon and Garfunkel?
no, it's Veggie Tales.
Oh, Veggie Tales? Kid show?
I watched it all the time. I didn't see that one.
It's one of those brain slide songs. Once you sing it, it'll come back in your head a lot.
Do you remember? I was watching in Israel in the news today, and something came to my mind. It was kind of funny because you remember how Palestinians say "from the river to the sea," and I can't remember what the rest of it is. They said, and I said, "Yeah, from the river to the sea, the Jews will always be free. Israel will always be free."
Well, isn't that the land that they were promised
Yep,
from the river?
to the sea.
And we're not talking about the Nile.
No, we're not. We're talking about the Tigris or
It's the same word or same sort of controversy. There are a lot of words that are controversial in this, or really words we don't know the answer to, so to speak, or precise. Shoham stones is another one. A couple of verses in 25:7. King James, New American Standard, Complete Jewish Bible reads onyx. The New Jerusalem Bible reads cornelian, and the New JPS reads lapis lazuli.
Lazuli?
Lapis lazuli.
We know what that is too.
So, two were needed for the ephod, but which particular stone is described by the word shoham is not precisely known, and this is why Art Scroll and the Judaic Press Complete Tanakh leave it as untranslated, but transliterated as shoham.
Two were needed for the ephod,
Mm-hmm.
as in the Urim and the Thummim?
No, I don't think that's what it's not.
The Urim, and I thought the Urim and the Thummim were in the ephod.
Yeah, that's where they were kept inside.
Right. But
I think
there were 12 stones on the
one for
outside.
each tribe.
But when you say two were needed for the ephod, that would lead me to say, are they talking about the Urim and the Thummim?
I don't
Because
think
it's
so.
two stones in.
Yeah, it says, you shall take the two stones of Shoham and shall engrave upon them the names of the sons of Israel. 6 of the names on one stone, the names,
So
and the
that's a
6
pretty
remaining
big stone.
stones on the second stone, according to their birth order.
I thought-
Crafted
Is that
and
the stones
engraven?
on the ephod?
Yes.
'Cause I thought they were 12 stones. One with,
There
There are.
12 stones.
Well, the 12 stones are on the
There was-
breastplate.
The thing that snapped it together, or what we would call snapping it together, one on each side.
Okay, that's
one,
those two
okay,
stones.
so there were 6 tribes on one, 6 tribes on the other.
Yeah, and that was. what-
As well as 12 tribes, one for
12
each.
tribes were on each stone.
But they were on the breastplate of the ephod.
But
okay.
these two stones held
Up at the clasp.
like a strap together.
There you go. That works.
And to make a sanctuary for me, so that I may dwell among them, or as dwell in their midst. The word Mishkan comes from the Hebrew three-letter root shachin, translated to dwell. So, what Hebrew words do you know that have shachin as its root? So we're seeing Mishkan.
Neighbor.
Shekinah,
Ah, this
Shekiah.
They're probably there. I'm sure there's others. Yeah. Dwelling
Yeah, you got
individuals.
room down there, like you gotta bring another one up.
I'm leaving it blank for you to fill in.
Oh, thank you.
Note that the Mishkan is also translated as tabernacle, which Greek word comes from a transliteration of shachin, and where is it famously used in the Greek version of the Besorot Yochanan, the Gospel of John?
I don't know.
It's in,
Is it Exum? Kai Exum? I don't know, I don't read Greek, so.
the word there is eskenosin,
Eskinosis.
which skenu is the root word of that. It's from John 1:14, which says, and the word became flesh and did tabernacle among us. And that's the word skenu or eskenosin,
For tabernacle?
tabernacle. Or as the complete Jewish Bible reads, it says, and we saw his Shekinah, the Shekinah of the Father's only Son. So they should make a tabernacle, a sanctuary for me, so that I may dwell among them. What it doesn't say is I may dwell in it. So from this, you can say that Yah wanted offerings from the heart, the Terumah, and it's always been Yah's intention to dwell within the hearts of those who love him. There's a lot of things in this Torah portion that are basically according to the pattern. We see that a lot. According to the pattern that was shown you, or I'm going to show you. So, for example, 25:9 reads this way, according to the pattern of the tabernacle. 25:40. See, you make them after the pattern for them, which was shown to you. It's now in the past tense on the mountain. So the pattern was shown to Moshe. According to the book of Hebrews, it's in the originals in heaven. So what was he shown? What did he see?
The Xerox copy.
Somehow I don't think it was a Xerox copy. I think he was showing the actual Mishkan.
Seems to me like that's a good analysis of that.
A Xerox copy?
No, the original is in heaven, and he saw that to make the earthly pattern.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But he was on the mountain.
Or the other one was.
This is one of the fun challenge questions. What do you notice about the order which is described, and is it from inside out or from outside? And we already answered that as being from the inside out.
Why is that?
You could build a lot of theories around that.
I just want one.
I think that you could look at it as if it starts from the inside, from the heart, that's the most important part. If the heart is profane, wearing gold clothing doesn't change that. And so looking at it as from the
Mm.
inside is the most important part. It will eventually flow through to the outside, but the inside is the important part.
Agreed.
Well, of course, Devarim 10 verse 6 talks about the circumcision of the heart.
Yeah.
Terumah, people are told to make an uplifting, to lift up room. Of course, the root of room is to elevate. Those are the 15 items. This, I think some places, I've seen it just written for in the middle line there of shittim wood.
Mhm.
That is usually translated as acacia, although sometimes it's again left as transliterated, not translated.
What is acacia wood?
Kind of wood.
I got that much. What kind of wood?
Acacia wood.
Is it a soft wood, hard wood, medium wood? Does it have an oil to it? Does it have a smell to it? Is it bug proof, like cedar?
We could ask Professor Google.
I don't believe Google. You lie to me.
That's DuckDuckGo.
They're owned by Google now.
Ask,
I don't know, but either way, I would assume it would have been a light wood. Hard but light. Similar to maybe ash.
there's as you remember from other discussions, like is it terebinth or oak of Mamre?
That's obviously a the only
Different translations understand that differently. So.
True. True. I don't think the mighty oak there.
Okay, guys, I've gotta go.
Gotta go.
Yeah,
It's nice meeting
Will you
you.
be safe?
yeah, I hope so.
Cece says that acacia grows all over Northern California. It has a lot of yellow blossoms. Again, showing how California is like
The promised land.
the promised land. Exactly. Jim, do you mind?
I'll ask her a quarter out. Yes.
I'm just right now.
That way she can protect me.
Somebody asked him.
Thank you. Thank
Nice
you
meeting you,
so
man.
much.
Shmutov.
You too.
It's dark out there.
It's dark.
Yeah.
It's good to.
I never met her. Is she just started, or you guys know her?
She was here last week for the first time.
Oh, so
She is a recent arrival from Haaretz. From the
really?
land. Mhm.
Wow. She former military or?
I don't think so. Not at all. I mean, she might have been. I don't think she was military.
Oh, she got family here. She's just visiting.
I think she has family and friends that she lives. I think between Duncan and Marlow,
Oh, okay.
somewhere in that area.
Well,
Right.
we'll get to see her again. I hope.
Yeah.
I'll tell Connie about her. What's her name?
Her name's Abigail.
Abigail.
Mhm.
Okay. You guys have her contact information? And
I think CC does.
yeah, I'll tell Connie about her. She's really cool.
Mhm.
Really nice lady. The fact that she spent so much time over there is amazing.
Yes.
Now, I just thought about that, what I was saying earlier about the river to the sea. I was thinking, how could you change that and make it good? Israel will be free. Biden is trying to force Netanyahu to, we won't give you any support then if you don't do this. And if I was him, I'd say, you know what, forget you. Because Netanyahu's right. They've got to destroy Hamas. There's no other way. And Hezbollah. But I wonder what the scripture says, because I know they talk about that thing called the Psalm 83 war, and I've never really known anything about it, but it's amazing. Because I think it's just going to continue on. But they need to press in and get it done. If they don't, did you make it in the car and it was moving?
It was moving.
Okay. Uh-oh. Did you text my daughter? Darn.
Yeah. What else?
15 materials were used in the construction of the strong. So the word they use for bronze is really copper, right?
No, it's really nachash.
Say again?
You could transliterate that one too. I can leave it as untranslated if you don't want to distinguish between copper or bronze, because it's the same word.
Well, they had bronze at that period. Or bronze age.
Yeah, but coinage was in copper, I think.
When is what?
Coinage was copper, silver, gold coins.
Mhm.
I don't know that they're bronze coins. Bronze being like for the, swords and plate mail, things like that.
Yep.
So that adds up to 15. According to an ancient Midrash, Midrash Gadol states that the materials donated correspond to the components of a human being. Some examples of that would be that gold represents the nefesh, silver the body, copper the voice, blue the veins, purple the flesh, and crimson the blood. Again, that's a midrash, it's not scripture.
You know, that's interesting. I wonder if that blue was Tehelet blue.
Well, the word used there is techelet. It's techelet, argamon, and tolat shani is crimson. It's a different word than Adam for red, Adma. This is rough. The like I mentioned earlier, even a gift of goat hair is important, and you see that in our Ketuvim Netzarim reading this week. It was people gave gifts of out of their abundance, but the poor woman gave the coinage out of her poverty, but it was all that she had that she gave. She basically gave of herself.
Percentage wise, she gave way more than the rich.
Gave a higher percentage, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So the text doesn't have a word there for, like, when I in the Complete Jewish Bible and some others, read yarn, or others read thread. For example, in 25:4, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn is how this reads. But there's no word there for yarn or thread. It's just left blue, purple, and scarlet. So some translations have the word yarn or materials in italics because there's no word there for it. It would be essentially assumed by the reader, so to speak, what it would be. So what was the material? Was it wool? Cotton is possible, but cotton wasn't yet, as far as we can tell, cotton wasn't yet imported into Egypt. It was a later import. Phoenicians to India, and to Phoenicians to trading with the Egyptians. So
Where was cotton first made?
I don't-
Plant.
I'm sorry. What,
Where was the plant from?
India is where it originates. Because cotton was imported through Phoenician traders to the Mediterranean and thus to Egypt. But it didn't happen until later on after the Exodus.
Oh, really?
Egyptian cotton is a big deal now, or I mean, it had been, was a big deal for a long time.
Why is that?
I mean, even now, Egyptian cotton is one of the premier types of cotton you can use. For example, the My Pillow brand of sheets can be Egyptian cotton because highest quality. But it wasn't really a thing at the time of the Exodus. So really, wool would have been the only thing that's easy to dye. Linen was not something that could be dyed, so it seems to me that it was definitely wool that was being used here. I don't know that I would say that it doesn't mean necessarily that later on it doesn't. Would only wool have been used to make dyes of objects? It doesn't really seem like cotton would have been potentially used later.
But you can make, using wool, you can make a very fine material.
Yes.
Cotton absorbs liquid very good, though.
At this point in their journey, how long have they been on their journey at this point since leaving Egypt?
It's between 1 and 2 years, I believe. I'd say this is probably in the first year.
Okay, so when did they arrive at the mountain of God?
Typically, it's given as like 3 months after.
About within the first year.
Mm-hmm.
3 months, 90 days. I would have assumed it would have been within 50 days. And the reason I say that is because of Shavuot. Because that is the giving of the Torah.
Yeah, so that may be a better way of looking at it. That actually makes a lot of sense.
And the only thing I don't know about is, I don't know where it would fit. Now, Moses was on the mountain 30 days. So, is that 30 days?
40, wasn't it?
Well, maybe it was 30 or 40. I just know he was up there for a while. Was that before Shavuot? Was that after Shavuot? I know it took them, I don't know, within a week to get to the crossing. And then another week or two to get to the mountain. My assumption, even though I've seen Exodus theory and all that, my assumption was when they left Egypt, they left the day after Pesach. Now there could be a 7 days in there if it wasn't, if it was, so it's the first Sabbath. So if Pesach fell on Shabbat, and then the next day was a Sunday, that 50 days counting wouldn't start until the following Sabbath, following Sunday. So that's my understanding. But either way, 50 days, come back 30 just for grins and just in case, even 40. That would have given them 10 days to get to the mountain.
Well, he'd be up, I mean, this, if there's that time period, he gets the Torah and it breaks it down because, I mean, it breaks the Torah because they're all rebelling within
Right.
that time period.
Right. But, you know, the timeline there, I'm pretty sure that they got to the mountain before the 50th day for Sukkot.
Shavuot.
Shavuot, I'm sorry, Shavuot, not Sukkot. But it's his time on the mountain was before he was given the 10 words. So was that before Shavuot? Or was it after Shavuot that he got the 10 words?
Oh, well, on Shavuot is when he spoke, he delivered the words. The 10 words were delivered on Shavuot.
Exactly. Did he deliver it? Or is that when they came to the mountain to hear God?
No, Yah spoke the 10 words on Shavuot. Then he went back up after that to get the tablets.
Okay. So then the 40 days would have had to have been after Shavuot.
Right, I think that's right.
The reason I ask is because it says in our portion today, according to the plans that he was shown, and then some versions like mine says on the mountain. So he carried
at
those
some point,
plans all that time.
well, early in the portion it says the plans you will be shown, and later in the portion it says the plans that you were shown.
That's my belief. He either was shown them on the mountain and carried them around all that time until they got to this point. Which sounds like that's the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
But then what about what you just read?
Well, I mean, this is after. I mean, this is after the 10 words, right? I mean, this is 10 words were delivered 5 chapters ago.
At the mountain. But this was probably, could be a year later, right?
Well, that may be a question that may not be specific to this. I'm sure there's somebody has a
What I'm
timeline.
thinking is could it be a
In the
case where
previous
some,
portion, it says Moshe entered the cloud and went up on the mountain. He was on the mountain 40 days and nights, 24:18. So maybe, I mean, it seems, maybe, and maybe it's just a translation thing that talks about will be shown versus were shown. I don't know.
or is it pieces that you see sometimes pieces are out of chronological order?
True. Yeah.
So that may be the case.
Or even after the 40 days, there's still things he's going to have to be shown.
Yeah.
This is something we've talked about in the past, but if the yarn is wool and then is woven with linen, is there a problem with that?
Yep.
Well, it'd be a problem if it wasn't commanded.
Maybe it hadn't been commanded at that time yet.
We don't read, we read about that later in Devarim 22. But later in Devarim 28, it shows that basically the wool and linen were mixed on the high priest's garments. And so it could be mixed on the parokeh or the curtain.
It wasn't mixed with the wool, though, maybe.
I think it was mixed with wool because that's only the two choices.
What is linen?
It's
From a plant.
flax. But
I mean, I was reading somewhere, what it was talking about was, when it says mixing, it means the width and the warp or whatever that is. The weaving terms, one of them means the stuff that goes this way and then the stuff that goes this way.
Right.
Don't have this one wool and this one the other material woven together. Wasn't a problem with them layering them, but woven together, width and warp.
right, but that and the mixing of those two in any way in that sense would be not probably allowed if it's in the same garment.
Yeah.
But that's for the common people. It's not. It doesn't apply to the specific commands for the high priest's outfit.
Yeah, well, God can make exceptions to his rules,
Right.
Or
And,
is wool?
and he did several times.
right.
Just because you're not.
You don't do it. But you do it when I say to do it, but you don't do it of your own accord.
Mhm.
When I say to do it, you do it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't we just talk about this?
Sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. I was just curious.
When I dropped my remote, the
Oh,
went back to slide.
oh, I see. That's all good.
So this is the Techelet, Argamon, and Tolat Shani. No one seems to really argue much about the others, but everyone argues about Techelet. But no one seems to pay close attention to Argamon or Tolat Shani because those are not part of things that people wear in modern, well, even maybe in ancient times too. I don't know. But the Techelet probably, as you see on there in the slide, in the first word on the top right,
Mhm.
it's typically written with a CH, like I have it there, but technically it's a kaf. So it'd be more like a KH would be the probably more specific way to do it. In modern Hebrew, the word used for blue is not techelet, it's ketol. You can see it seems to be related to that word, that concept anyway. Letters are in a different order, but it's not techelet, it's ketol. As in the phrase Hashemayim Ketolim, or the skies are blue, or the blue skies. So, can Techelet simply mean blue? And this is not really a question. This is things that are, if you will, debated. But what it's the question kind of what was the source of those dyes? We've seen that there are two different in modern times. People have in Israel have opined that it was either from the murex snail or from a cuttlefish, which both can make a very similar blue-colored dye. Argamon, I think, is derived from the murex snail, and Tolat Shani literally translates to crimson worm or red worm, and it comes from simply a worm in a particular type of plant, which I don't have that at hand. So, I've advocated for woad for a long time because it makes the same color as indigo, and indigo was said to be the counterfeit version of Tefillah, the same color of indigo, but it wasn't indigo. But woad can make that the same dye color, and it can be dark or light depending on how you do it and how you let it dry. But even for example, if it's not badger, dolphin, or sea cow are not clean animals, but neither would be the dye for most of those, cuttlefish, snails, or red worms would not be clean animals either.
But there again, like we just said, they may not be clean, but if God said to use it, use it.
And so that would be you're not eating these, for example. So I don't know if cleanness in that sense makes
And you don't make them of your own accord, but God told them to make it.
Mm-hmm. But people have made it of their own accord. For example,
Commanded it to be done.
no, right. But thinking in Testament times, quote unquote, Lydia the dye maker was making purple dyes, which would be probably from that snail.
Which he was making them as a merchant to sell to people to make royal garments.
Right.
So the royal people, maybe something outside of the religious realm, what did royalty of those days use to color their clothing?
Well, purple was in England. Purple was banned for common people because it was considered royal.
I mean, what? Not necessarily the color, but what it was made from.
It's probably linked together in terms of the rarity of the dye materials.
Something common people couldn't get.
Yeah. And certainly in later years, woad became very popular as a dye source in Europe. And it was essentially, it's plant dye, so it was easy to, essentially easy to make and easy to harvest, and wasn't super expensive.
What's that shellfish or snail or whatever it is that's in the Mediterranean that they would pull up, that they would use if they did it at a certain time was blue, if they did it another time it was purple?
Well, my understanding is it's not the snail, it's it'd be the same dye.
Mhm.
Well, but you can, depending on when you harvest it or how you let it dry.
But what was the name of that snail? Is that the
Murex trunculus. So today those are making the tzitzit from using the Murex snail. The Murex snails are not actually in Israel. They're from the coast of former Yugoslavia. That's where those being harvested from.
Really?
Yeah. Dalmatian coast. I know from woad dyeing, if you get a different color, a darker color, if you let it dry inside or in the shade versus let it dry in the sun.
So letting it dry in the sun is a little lighter than.
Yeah. Let's see. So we talked about showbread, lechem hapanim, the bread before the faces. Bread is always before the face of Yah. This is how Temple Institute has depicted the table of showbread.
I wonder why they chose the picture standing up as opposed to lying arranged on the table.
Size of the table, I think.
That could fit on the table.
I mean, the way it's stacked there, because there's essentially like six, looks like 6 pans are
Yep.
sort of stacked.
I don't know. I like their version of the menorah.
Okay, well, we'll get to that in a second. I think it's the
Oh, wow,
slide shows
picture.
that. So I do have, well, here's some pictures of the menorah on objects, Nazarene seal, so to speak, in terms of has a menorah, different versions of menorah. You see on the, on the right hand picture, it has a menorah of kind of rounded branches. On the bottom one, they're kind of vertical or more angular, I guess.
Yeah.
Similar to how Rashi and Rambam depict that. It's depicted a bit differently in the Roman relief in the Arch of Titus.
That,
Wouldn't you think that would be accurate?
I would think that was accurate. So I really,
And that's essentially what the Temple Institute has agreed with, that is what
Yep.
their version of it looks like.
isn't that beautiful?
So, so I was confused. I'm confused about the weight of this thing here. It says that it weighs a half a ton, which would be 1,000 pounds, but contains 45 kilograms of 24 karat gold. 45 kilograms is only 100 pounds. So if it weighs 1,000 pounds, but only 100 pounds if it's gold, what's the other 900 pounds made of?
Well, if it's 24 karat gold, that won't hold very much weight. So you'd have to mix it with another metal to make something that large.
24 karat gold is awful soft.
Mm-hmm.
The depiction of it, I think that would probably agree with the the Temple Institute version. Is this is a coin from from the Second Temple period that has a depiction of the menorah on it. And so it seems to me that,
That looks similar to the Roman one.
yeah, well, the Roman one and the one of the Temple Institute as well, the rounded edges. So, commentary: if this coin depicts what the temple menorah looked like in the year 37 BCE, the straight line menorah branches would seem to be more stylized than the curved branch depictions. In other words, this seems to be the
Artist interpretation.
the straight, the more angular one would be the the interpretation. But if you're the king and you want to impress your subjects, so to speak, or not make your subjects think you know what you're talking about, you want to have the menorah depicted as it really existed, not something fake. So you think that he'd have access to what the menorah really looked like, and so it would depict exactly like that. You'd think. So one of the words that comes up in this portion is the word. Well, in this case, New York Standard reads, "The tabernacle will be a unit." Well, You probably recognize that word there is echad. So you have 50 clasps of gold and 10 curtains together makes, or so the temple or the correction tabernacle will be echad. So echad can be from multiple things coming together to become a single unit or echad. The veil or the parochet, often translated as curtain. You make a curtain again of blue, chelet, argamon, and sholat, tolat shani, and fine twisted or braided linen, design of cherubim worked into it. So this is another part of that same question. If you have the wool and linen woven together, is there a problem? No. Again, no, because it's commanded to be that way. So some studies indicate that wearing linen and wool separately contribute to health and healing. Cotton and other plant fibers are okay, but not as healthy. Again, some studies. Polyester and man-made fibers were worse.
Yeah, I read those things. It's got to do with the supposed frequencies that those materials give off and how your body absorbs those frequencies. Maybe something to it, may not. I don't know.
Exactly. So that concludes the slides anyway. Spacey's question is, when's lunch? When's supper? When's the snack?
Hey, that looks like Spike.
That's Spacey.
Yeah, her eyes are blue, Spikey's are green. Go figure.
There's variation in the species of even the cutest dachshunds.
I wonder if she'd get along with Spike. I know she didn't get along with the other one name was. I can't remember.
Yeah, Tony's dog. Paco?
Nope.
I don't think she'd get along with Spike or
No.
anything that resembles another animal. Anything that doesn't resemble her mother, then she's not happy.
Hmm.
Well, let's pray. Father, thank you for allowing us to gather together on Shabbat and to Midrash on your word. Thank you for the many intricacies in your word that allow us to chew on it. We thank you in Yeshua's name. Amen.
Oh, well, you should have seen it this morning. It was hilarious. So I had breakfast, and so we had 3 dogs there. Button's the littlest one, then Spike, and then Beagle. So Button has a piece of bread. She's in the middle of the rug eating her piece of bread. Spike comes walking along. She growls at him. He stays placed. Beagle just sitting on top of the couch there, looking around.
Shua told Lucia.
Shua told. So then, Daddy goes to the front door. She's going to leave. Spike and Button run to